Good morning, beautiful people. I hope you're having a wonderful day so far. Today, I want to talk about digestion walks. I recently have added these to my regiment and I'm loving them. And there's just so many benefits. So basically, what a digestion walk is just take 10 minutes, the 10 minutes that you would normally sit and scroll on your phone after you eat, and just go outside. I know, revolutionary idea. Going outside, touching some fucking grass. Go outside for 10 minutes. That's all it takes. 10 minutes after you eat, right? That's 40 minutes across the day. Number one is obviously you're going to burn more calories, right? That's the obvious one. Just getting more steps. It's an easy way to get in more steps. And it really doesn't take much time. Everyone's so much more productive in their heads than they are in real life. Just 10 minutes is such a minute amount of time. And the amount of time that you waste in a day is honestly shocking if you really sit there and track every 10, 15 minutes of your day. But anyways, yeah, don't bitch about the time. And what are the benefits besides just the walking and the calories? Well, first of all, if you do this after your breakfast, which you should just do it after every time you eat. And just build the habit of putting down your fork, putting your plate away, and just leaving right away. And if you just leave right away, you won't even notice the time that it takes. And the main benefit here is your insulin and your glucose response. So there's a lot of studies actually about this, and you have a lower blood sugar spike and a lower insulin response because muscle contractions cause glucose uptake through insulin independent pathways. I know that's a lot of big words. What does it mean? Well, it means your body is actually going to use those carbs that you just ate instead of having them just sit around in your blood. And it's going to use pathways that aren't insulin. And because insulin is normally the main glucose shuttler. If you think about it as insulin's like the Uber for your glucose. And there's other pathways, and muscle contractions cause them to happen. So walking is going to help with that. And theoretically, this means that you could eat more. So if you're trying to just maintain, you could eat more calories at your maintenance. This essentially might raise your maintenance calories. Or if you're in a deficit, it could increase the size of your deficit because you're actually using these substrates. There's a higher likelihood that these substrates, that the glucose is getting used rather than getting stored. So that's the number one, that's the most science-backed benefit of these. But outside of that, we have the circadian rhythm. Your circadian rhythm is set by getting your eyeballs on the sun. So doing this after your breakfast and after your dinner, you're going to see the sun, well, probably not sunrise. None of you wake up early. I don't either. I'm not saying I'm better than you. But getting your eyeballs on the sun in the morning, it's going to help with setting your circadian rhythm. And then same thing with the sunset after your dinner. So it's going to help you sleep better. It's going to help you with losing weight because of the glucose response and because of the extra steps. It's also going to help your mental health. Literally just 10 minutes outside has been proven to have significant mental health benefits. That's all you need. It's just that most people genuinely don't even get 10 minutes of sunlight every day. It's shocking. And it's not shocking. It's just disappointing and sad, but it's going to benefit you mentally. And obviously, if you live somewhere where the weather's nice, I mean, if you live, like I used to live in Wyoming, and I'll tell you right now, I would never do 4 digestion walks when it's negative 80 outside. So maybe in that case, you just do it inside. Maybe you get a walking pad, or 99% of you live in apartments. So I would say literally you can just walk around your apartment complex inside. I did that last night actually, and it wasn't that bad because again, it's just 10 minutes. But you're also going to, obviously it's called a digestion walk. That's the other benefit, is digestion. It has been shown to speed up gastric motility, which just means digestion and how fast your food essentially moves through you, and decrease subjective feelings of bloating and fullness, stuff like that. So really, I can't say enough good things about it. And even just subjectively, just anecdotally, since I've started doing it, I love it. I genuinely love it because it's nice to also just get outside and just kind of let yourself enjoy nature for a little bit. Like, just don't bring your phone with you. I mean, you can bring your phone with you, but just maybe leave the AirPods, just enjoy the sounds of nature. I don't know, maybe if you live in a city, then bring your AirPods because you don't want to have like just homeless people yelling at you. But regardless, just get outside. It's nice. Touch some grass is essentially what I'm saying. It's good for your health. And It's good for your digestion. So digestion walks are peak. You should do them after every meal. If you're eating 4 meals a day, which is my recommendation, then that's 40 minutes of walking. So that's roughly 4-ish thousand steps that you're getting in. So that's peak. That's another thing that I wanted to talk about is the constrained energy expenditure model, because I have experienced it just now recently. So essentially what the constrained energy expenditure model is, the relationship between your physical activity and your energy expenditure, your calorie burn, is not linear. It's not just for every 1,000 steps I burn another 1,000 calories. Obviously it's not that much. I'm just throwing out numbers. For every 1,000 steps I burn 100 calories. That's not going to be true. It's not always true. The amount of calories you burn per step essentially tapers off. And there is a lot of very interesting research on this. It's mainly from Ponzer's lab. And if you've ever listened to Iron Culture or you know anything about Dr. Trexler, he's done a lot of research in this too. But they essentially follow this group of tribe. It's this tribe in, I think it's Africa, and they're a nomadic tribe that's hunter-gatherers, and they walk it's an ungodly amount of steps. I think it's somewhere of like 50, 60,000. Don't quote me on this. It's been a while since I've read the research, but yeah, it's like minimum 30,000 steps. We can say minimum 30,000. And you would think like, holy shit, these people's energy expenditures got to be insane, right? It's not. It's because and that's where the constrained energy expenditure model comes from, is it's basically just saying that we get so efficient at walking and at just moving that your body starts burning less calories as you get higher and higher up. It's the diminishing returns. Diminishing returns hit everything. And these diminishing returns seem fairly steep. And just anecdotally, I have witnessed them significantly from getting that. I think your first 10,000 steps you'll see significant improvements in energy expenditure going from, let's say, 3,000 steps, which is a fairly average amount for most Americans, which is honestly really sad. But going from 3,000 to 10,000, you'll see a significant increase, right? You can roughly estimate that every 10,000 steps is about 500 calories burned. It's going to change depending on your height and your weight and things like that. And obviously just individuality, but that's a rough estimate. Another way to estimate calories is every 1,000 calories, take your body weight in kilograms divided by 2. That's roughly how many calories you'll burn for every 1,000 steps. But again, that's only at the beginning. Once you get over 15, the difference from 10K to 15K is, I've noticed it's about 250 calories. Like that's about what it lines up to be. But then from 15 to 20, it's not as much. And then again, from 20 to 25, you really won't notice a huge difference in energy expenditure. And this is me getting into the anecdotes because we really don't have a lot of literature on this, minus the research from Ponzer's lab. And in their research, the lower ends are all just mapped out they're just regression models that they use from from this tribe. So obviously you can't really extrapolate that to everyone's daily living. But once you've had a really high expenditure of these really high steps for a while, your body you just become so efficient at walking that you start seeing these diminishing returns and they get very steep. And I noticed this with myself because I was getting 20 to 25,000 steps at the end of my deficit. And recently we have decreased my calories, or we've decreased my steps to around 15,000. So almost a 10,000 drop. So you would assume that I would lose 500 calories off my expenditure. No, it's been negligible. No, honestly, not barely even noticeable. And I've also seen this with my clients as well, is that bump in expenditure from going from sub 10K to 10 to 15 is significantly higher than going from 15 to 20, and definitely than it is from going from 20 to 25. So even with everyone being on the steps maxing trend, I think if you do it for too long, it's not going to be as beneficial. So if you're just a casual, if you don't have plans of competing, if you're just planning on staying at maintenance, I think keeping your steps relatively high is okay, but I really don't think there's a big difference I don't think going over 15K is really going to move the needle very much. And if it's significantly retracting from your daily life to get that many steps, then I would say just don't even worry about getting to 20. Getting 15 is going to be plenty, especially over a long period of time, because you do just get more and more efficient. And It's not going to raise your walking, isn't going to raise your heart rate as much. And you'll notice that over time as well. If you track your heart rate, if you have a fitness tracker, your resting heart rate's going to go down. Your heart rate while you're walking is going to go down as well. So if you're not ever planning on competing, if you don't plan on doing any, significant builds or significant deficits, if you just kind of want to main gain, then I would say, yeah, stick around like 10, 15, maybe 20K if you have a walking pad and if you just really enjoy it and if it's just easy for you. But if you do plan on competing and you want to get into a deficit, you kind of want to put yourself back into a position where you're less efficient at walking. So that's what I'm doing right now, because I'm in my off season and I'm building, and I want to have as many levers to pull when I do go into my prep as possible. Because if I go into my prep already walking 20,000 steps a day, I don't really have anywhere to go from there. I can't really push up past that. It's just not realistic for me unless I quit my job. But then even then, we see the diminishing returns. So I'm pulling back on all of the levers that I was using in my last deficit so that I have the ability to crank them back up when I go into prep again. So that's all I really got for this one. If you learned something, if you enjoyed, make sure to drop a like, really helps me out, and subscribe. And I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out. Love you.